because there's another session starting, so I'll just start now. So my name is Andrés Knobel. I'm a lawyer from Argentina. I'm a consultant at Tax Justice Network, which is an international network of researchers and analysts, including economists and lawyers and journalists from all over the world, and we deal basically with analyzing and doing research on issues about financial transparency, tax evasion, and, well, with a very big focus on tax havens and secrecy jurisdictions, as I'll explain later. And the idea today, I was asked whether I could just show the comparison of different tax havens or different secrecy jurisdictions in terms of many different issues, such as bank secrecy, corporate transparency, just also for companies and trusts and partnerships. So the idea is just to go along all that line, but that will be at the end. At the beginning, I would just like to start by explaining what the Financial Secrecy Index is, this research project I have been working on together with two other colleagues. And, well, I'll just to get started. So the idea today is first to analyze the FSI, so the Financial Secrecy Index, objectives and the structure, just analyzing why we go ahead with this project, then analyzing the results and the political context, which will explain the differences between the FSI together with other indexes, and then in the end just go to the secrecy detailed assessments and comparison between the different jurisdictions. So to start, why the FSI? So why the Financial Secrecy Index, and why this research? Well, as the Economist cover over there shows about the missing 20 trillion, there's this huge issue about the illicit financial flows of money. So it's money coming from corruption, money laundering, finance of terrorism, capital flight, tax evasion, tax avoidance, and drug smuggling, just among many others, which ends up in many of these tax havens or their financial centers of all these tax havens in many countries. And this has a huge impact, first on inequality, because of, obviously, if it's tax evasion, some people are just not paying as much tax as they should, and that usually the burden is on those who less have, so it's usually the lower and middle class, especially working class people. And that also has a consequence in terms of governments who lack the sufficient resources, so that entails public spending cuts, so cuts on human rights, just such as infrastructure spending, making sure and guaranteeing health and security for many of these countries. Just as an example, as I said, I'm from Argentina. There was just very recently a report about Argentinians holding about $200 billion offshore. So that's $200 billion, which obviously is not paying taxes, and again, it's not really the problem. The only problem is about tax evasion. And just in case you read the news about Argentina, our country is really going through really hard times. But it's also about many of these funds are just originated by corruption and involve many of the politicians and many of the people in government.